So what's poppin', fams? Today I'll be bringing you a very controversial topic to the table. It is the art of shotgunning. Hate it or love it, salty, or anything else in between at it, it is one of the best playstyles in Destiny. And without further ado, I thought I'll make a list about the top 5 shotguns in my opinion. Now this list is based off the fact of its rarity, its effectiveness, and how great it stands as of right now in the meta, though I could use any shotgun from the beginning of time. So, without further ado, I want to introduce this. So to start off at number 5 is the controversial conspiracy theory. Now, the reason why this weapon is controversial is because the best roll you can possibly get on it is probably given to you in the quest line, or that quest in the Taken King. This weapon is year 2, can be infused and leveled up, and so on. And the quest is actually pretty easy to do, and it probably gives you the best rolls, as I mentioned. Yes, you can try and get it from legendary engrams and try to get an even better roll, but quite honestly, this is probably the best roll, as in year 2, it seems like you cannot get knee pads and rangefinder in the same roll anymore. You can only do that from year 1 shotguns and re-roll them. So definitely this weapon, the shotgun, is probably one of the easiest to obtain, pretty common in the Crucible, year 2, and its stats are great. Its rate of fire is just that less of a Matador and impact, but it's still a great shotgun all around, still great stats, still easy to obtain, all the above. Moving on. At number 4, this was a tough pick for me, because I was going to either put it as number 3 or 4, but I ended up putting it as 4 because I'm trying to be the least biased I can in this list. So basically, my number 4 is the Judgment. The Judgment 6. The Judgment 6 was the year 1 shotgun for New Monarchy, but it was only between Vanilla and the Dark Below. You can only obtain it through that time through a package. So this weapon is pretty rare for what it's worth. It's still obtainable with the best luck ever. You can literally go to Prison of Elders and try to get a legendary engram that's special somehow, and it could turn into a Judgment. I got one of my Judgments like that, even though I already had one. The chances of that happening though are extremely odd. So anyways, the reason why it's at number 4 is because I'm an extremely biased bastard. It's brought me a lot of victories, and it could be rerolled to have knee pads and rangefinder with, and aggressive ballistics and riffle barrel, or the other one. It's definitely got great stats. It's great all around. Its fire rate is higher than most, and if you don't like killing stuff in one hit, this can definitely help you take off that second shot in case you missed. It's definitely a good weapon. It has great stats. That rate of fire can help, and I'm just biased, so this weapon is great all around. I love it. Now moving on. At number 3, we have the most controversial shotgun in this list, the Felwinter's Lie. Now, it's also nicknamed the Felwinter Sniper. This is because in year 1 people believed that this could snipe, and they were partially correct. For a shotgun, it could definitely snipe. Regardless of that, it's basically here because of the nostalgic feeling, the fact that it can be rerolled with knee pads and rangefinder, and all the other good stuff. Those are just my 2 preferences for shotguns, so that's why I keep saying it can be rerolled. It's got great stats. It started the stat of high impact, low rate of fire shotguns, as the next 2 will imply. It's basically the bane of all year 1 Destiny players. It was completely hated by everyone, even once these newer shotguns, the next 2 shotguns came out, and they were just better in every sense. People still called that Felwinter sniping, just because this weapon brought so much remorse in year 1. So that's why it's basically here. It can be rerolled, great stats, and it's just a bane to Destiny players year 1. Moving on. At number 2, we have my favorite shotgun, the Party Crasher +1. Now, at this point in Destiny, in House of Wolves, you were either the Matador or Party Crasher. A few Felwinters, like I said, but it was still hated across, because just so many salty tears were cried because of Felwinters. But Party Crasher was basically my favorite because it had the best stats all around, and in year 1, as I have implied before, shotguns can almost snipe. So this one definitely could snipe at the same impact, at the same range as something like the Matador, but it also had a greater rate of fire, which is something that I liked in case of an emergency if I had to go 1v3. Definitely my favorite shotgun out of all of them. It cannot be obtained no more in year 1 form, but yes, it can be obtained in year 2 form in PvP. it's quite commonly used. It's not that rare in PvP right now. Year 2 anyways. Year 1 I've seen a few. It can be rerolled with knee pads and rangefinder year 1 only. Year 2 you cannot obtain it with knee pads and rangefinder sadly, so rip my dream. I do have a pretty good one, but without knee pads and rangefinder in the same, it would never feel like year 1 to me again, sadly. But moving on, here comes number 1. And at number 1, we have the Matador. Now in year 1 I might have said the Party Crasher because of the better overall stats and nostalgic feelings and memories I have with it, but to be honest, in year 2, after all the nerfs to shotguns, the two most crucial aspects of shotguns is the impact and the range. So the Matador has both of them, and the best at both. It has the same range as the Felwinter and Party Crasher and has more impact than both of them. So definitely, of course, with all the perks being the same, even with aggressive ballistics and full barrel, it just has the best stats all around. It does have less rate of fire, but that's why you have a melee at this point, I guess, especially with Storm Chance. But regardless, this is also one of the rarest shotguns because you can no longer obtain it from anywhere. I've looked far and wide, it's only been attainable in year 1. Some people kept it, but most people ended up deleting their shotguns, just like I did with my Party Crasher, because I thought I was never gonna shotgun again. Oh, was I wrong? But regardless, I never really used the Matador. The gameplay I'm using, if you haven't noticed, is from Nick, one of my clanmates who does have a Matador, and it's just definitely the best shotgun. It's just got everything in between. It's got the best stats that you need right now for shotgunning, and it's just great all around. It's rare. It's not that rare in sweats, believe me, but oh, do I wish I kept one as it is right now. It's the best shotgun, without a doubt, in my mind. Maybe you'll disagree, maybe Party Crasher's still better to you, but it's definitely rare. It's not as obtainable as the rest. You can only get it year 1. You can re-roll it, knee pads, rangefinder, my personal favorites, with the best stats all around, best impact, best range, and not the best rate of fire, but let's be real. You got a melee, rate of fire in shotguns is completely overrated, if anything. Actually underrated, but nevertheless, it's not really that important. So with that concludes my list, guys. Those were my top 5 shotguns. Leave a comment if you liked or agree with my list. Maybe leave a like on my video if you really enjoyed it or it helped you in some kind of way, I guess. And subscribe if you're that kind and you really like my content so far. I'm trying to improve my content overall and everything. So anyways, thank you for watching. Made this a little longer than expected again, but I love y'all. Oh, I forgot. And peace.
Yeah, I'm the only one to get the job done.